Hello, this is Amanda Farlinger with From Where I Stamp, and we're talking about the new Fitting Florets suite, or collection. It's not a suite, it's a collection, because it's not in the catalog. This collection contains products from the upcoming mini catalog that starts in January, but some of it's not carrying over. So we have some stamps and dies that work together. And then we have a special stamp set that's only available till January 4th. So we're going to use this one with the Framed Florets Dies to create kind of a Christmas card. So these two items you can purchase in the next mini, but we can order them now. And I'll show you the rest of the collection here in a minute. We're going to get some stamping done. All right. We need our Very Vanilla. I don't use Very Vanilla very often. I'm not sure why. I should use it more. All right, so we have some Evening Evergreen. That's one of the colors in the Designer Series paper, which I'll show you here in a few minutes. So we are going to stamp a Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas using Evening Evergreen, and we're going to stamp it right in the center because we're going to die cut this out. There we go. And then, of course, we need to clean our stamp with a fairly new Simply Chamois. You can tell I've only used it a couple other times. And there's a nice clean stamp. Just some water, Simply Chamois, that's all you need. All right, put the stamp set aside and my ink away. So we have our paper that we're going to die cut. This, we're going to use, here are the dies. Doesn't want to cooperate here. So I put my dies in a stamp case with some magnet sheets, and we're going to use this one here. So it has kind of some ribbed here, and then the extra little detail around the oval. But we're going to die cut the oval part for the Very Vanilla, and then we're going to die cut this part with Soft Succulent. I was going to say Evening Evergreen, but that is an option. You could do that if you wanted. So we're going to use the Stampin' Cut and Emboss mini machine. So this one you could use, oh, I didn't cut this down. It's only 3.5 inches wide, so I forgot. So I'm going to have to grab my trimmer. And you can use the larger machine if you wanted. I'm going to just trim down a little bit on each side, just because I forgot my platform was smaller. Throw those pieces over there. Put my trimmer back into the drawer. All right. So let me put this here. Let me put this here. And you want to center it. I like stamping first before die cutting. There's a couple different ways you could do either one. So you can stamp first, then die cut. So that way you can put the die where you want it to go. Or you could die cut and then stamp. And either using a clear block stamp, like I did for this greeting, and just eyeball it, or you can even use the Stamparatus to get it positioned in just the right spot. So this Stampin' Cut and Emboss mini, we're just going to put off to the side because we're going to do some die cutting in a minute. All right, I'm going to put this over back on the magnet sheet so I don't lose it. And so we have our extra piece. Then we have this piece here that I can save for another project because I'm not going to use it for this card. And then we have our greeting here. Have yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And that might be cute embossed in gold even. So that's an option for you. All right. Now back to our Stampin' Cut and Emboss mini. We're going to cut out. And of course, I forgot. I grabbed a quarter sheet of cardstock here without thinking. So we'll just do a little quick trim. Maybe I can use that trim piece somewhere else. And then we're going to die cut that again. So this card doesn't have a lot of stamping. Really, it's some stamping, some die cut, some designer paper, which is my favorite. And we're going to put this up here. Layer the top plate over top of it. This one's a little harder to go through. There we go. And I'm going to set this off to the side because we're going to need it in just a few minutes to do some accents. All right. And now this is the reverse of what we need. So the die goes away so I don't lose it. So I don't need the oval, but you could keep it. Maybe you can emboss in white or gold on this, and then you can layer them this way for another card. So then you have another option. All righty. So this is what we're going to end up with. Have yourself a merry little Christmas with a really pretty little frame around it. So I wanted to share with you the Fitting Florets Collection. So this is the collection, and it has stamp set and dies, which I've used the dies today. And then this Framed and Festive stamp set was the one I just used. And it's only available until January 4th, or while supplies last. Next up, we have the Fitting Florets Designer Series paper. So we're going to remove that, and I'm going to show you. So here is one of the sheets from that Designer Series paper pack. It has pink on the back. I don't know if I'd ever use the pink side. I'm not a pink fan. If you watched any of my videos, you may have known that already. So this is soft succulent. I have it scored, ready to make a card. But I cut 2 pieces from this Designer Series paper. Use a bone folder to make that edge nice and crisp. So you could put this designer paper down. I have a piece of real red cut to 5 1/4 because that's how wide my designer paper is. And then we'll have this frame here, and we're going to do some die cuts around it. So that's one option. But something else that you can do with the designer paper is you can use some Stampin' blends. So I did this a little earlier because watching someone else color is not always the funnest. So I'm going to use this instead on the card. And I've used real red Stampin' blends, both in light and dark. So even though, here, let me show you this part here. So this one had some shading. So I just added the dark in where the dark spot was on here, and then added the light because there's 2 ink colors in the Stampin' blends, a light and a dark, and you blend them together. But you do want to be careful not to put too much ink on the designer paper because it's a little thinner than cardstock. And of course it will bleed through. So make sure you have some scrap paper or something on your tabletop or wherever you're crafting, so that way this ink doesn't transfer onto your surface. So we're just going to put some of my favorite glue, which is the liquid glue. And you can use whichever adhesive you prefer. And then some real red. And we'll put that somewhere around there. There we go. Now, before we do the rest of it, we're going to do some die cutting. So I have some gold foil and some soft succulent cardstock that we can put around this edge here, but die cut. So we wanted a couple different things. We want some adhesive sheets. So this here, let's do it this way, and then I could just cut this across. This here we'll put on the back of the gold. And of course I got some adhesive sheet on me, but that's okay. We'll just go like this and like this. There we go. Still some of my fingers. All right. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim this back a little, because you don't want to put your foil cardstock or foil paper through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine too many times, because the ridges on here, if you've cut anything, that will transfer to your foil. We don't want that. All right, so we want this die here with our gold. Put it on there. Now you could put a piece of like copy paper, printer paper over top of your foil to protect the edge. So see here, if you can see it, there's some transfer. No big deal, but and then you could use that, maybe just stress it a little bit more, and then you could use that for another project. It's a good idea. Might just have to do that. All right. And then we pull this off, and then using that adhesive, we won't have to worry about, oops, we won't have to worry about adding glue to the back of it. Okay, so now we have these two little pieces. And of course, cardstock, I'm not too worried. It doesn't pick up the design as much. Oops. I'm going to do both of these at the same time. Oh, whoops. I'm being a silly person. Here I'm talking about use the adhesive sheets. It'll make it so much easier. What am I not doing? Putting adhesive sheets on here. Oops, I made mine a little long. That's okay. We can trim that off. Just so I don't get stickiness all over my emboss machine. All right. So sticky side, not sticky, but the side with the adhesive sheet on it goes down. Then we put these on here. My fingers must be a little sticky. There we go. And roll that on through. And then we have our little leaves. I was watching the hockey game the other night, you can tell. All right, so we are done with this. So now what we can do is we're going to, oops, put some glue on the back of our oval so we can put this card together. So we want to put our oval, let's put it towards the center, something like that. Then we're going to use the tip here. I'm just going to shake it down a little, just because it's been standing up on its end, to get that glue up to the top. And I mean, I could have used adhesive sheets with this too. That's an idea. Okay, why aren't you matching up? There we go. Oops. The glue came through. Adhesive sheets would be better. All right. We'll cover that up here in a minute. So we want to do one of these leaves. Oops, there we go. Where's my tweezers? Come on. There we go. Oops. Got a stowaway on my thumb. Come on, get off. There we go. And if we have a little extra leaf, that's no biggie. It'll still stick down. No big deal. All right, so this one here, we want to pop these out. Okay, let's see if they come out when I pull off the backing. Now, next up, we're going to add some gold Adhesive-Backed swirls. There we go. To the project. And they're part of the collection as well and only available till January 4th. Probably should have put this over a little more. There we go. Something like this. I like that. And then we'll pull off the backing off this one. And then we're going to tie some ribbon as well. So we have 2 embellishments we're going to add. The ribbon isn't part of the suite or the collection, sorry, but it is in the annual catalog. I probably should have done the ribbon first. Okay, let's just leave that there and hope that I don't transfer that onto anything else. All right. Okay, ribbon. We're going to do 2 bunny ears. Whip it around through the hole, flip it around. Oops, too many flips. There we go. Pull this end, pull this end. Maybe that a little bit bigger. Come on. There we go. Pull that. Oops. Oh, come on. Trim that. Trim that. Make these a little bigger. Oops, and we need some glue dots. Up on my stamping wall. Put a glue dot on the back, fold it over just because. Now, where am I going to add this? I'm going to add this right here. And we'll put our little ribbon right here. It covers up that one little thing, but that's okay. So there is our Merry Little Christmas card made with the Fitting Florets collection. And some of these items will only be available until January 4th. So the designer paper, oh, I forgot the little embellishments here. So these adhesive-backed swirled little gems and the Christmas stamp set. So the framed and festive stamp set is only available until January 4th. And I will have a link to the products used in this video down below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe. And I will see you next time.